I think. Have you played against AI?
Oh, that's pretty much most of what I've been doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I did the all the training stuff quite a few times. So
Okay. I'll
I
probably
guess
just spectate and I'll add an AI. Do you know what difficulty or what race you'd like?
I'm gonna start with Terran or shit. It's either Terran or Protoss. I'm equally familiar with both.
Okay.
Um, I'm gonna go Terran just because they're basic.
Okay.
They're what's the word I was told? They are more forgiving if you mess something up. Uh,
Yeah, I think that's true.
because yeah, their units aren't absorbently expensive as the Protoss
Yeah.
are. But yeah, sorry. The AI difficulty, I honestly have no idea because I always just go to the 1v1 and then I click start.
Okay.
I don't see like any difficulty anywhere.
Okay. Let's try medium. If that's too hard, we'll go back, but it should be okay.
Uh,
So pick your
or,
race, whatever one you want, and then whichever one out of Terran and Protoss that you pick, I'll make the bot the other one.
I chose to.
You chose Terran. It says Protoss here.
Am I on the wrong? One sec. Return to. Oh, I'm not in the lobby. Okay. Whoops. Terran. Here we go.
There we go. Okay, so you're picking Terran. I'll make the bot Protoss.
Yes, please.
Okay, now I'm gonna watch, and then I just want to get an idea of what your game looks like, and we'll
Oh,
go from there.
it's a lot of fumbling around.
Yeah, even for me, man, I've been playing for 12 years, and I'm still at that point, so it's all good. StarCraft is just like 20 minutes of constantly making mistakes and trying to make as few as possible.
I I think the best word for it is it's like one of those games where uh, it's impossible to master or whatever the phrase is.
Yeah, easy to pick up, hard to master.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you could realistically win the game by just using one unit.
yeah,
Especially as Terran, you just take a shit ton of raids and
yeah,
then you're
exactly.
solid.
Definitely.
Hmm.
Okay, well, good luck, man.
Oh God, we'll see. I think I'm usually used to playing on the what do you call it? The easy difficulty, whatever it is when you go onto the AI button and click start. Once.
Yeah, I think that it's dependent on how many wins you get. I think that actually changes too.
Let's see. Can you hear my game volume per chance?
Not currently.
Okay. I just want to make sure that my mic isn't bleeding for any accidents.
No, I don't think so. I notice you're walling off too. That's really good.
From the one video on YouTube I watched, this is what I picked up.
Perfect.
I think I've only won a single game in all of my days of playing StarCraft. So, boy, I see you. Okay. Oh, no, 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 no. You guys are a bit too.
Do you know what's killing your guys right now?
See something invisible, you little shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pick them up, so. Oh, fuck, I couldn't press B fast enough. Oh, that's not good. That's not good at all.
It might be pretty hard for us to come back from this point.
Yeah. I think this just might be GG, honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
Ow. Yeah.
Okay, if you want, we can hop out and go into the replay.
You know what? I'm gonna make one more push if I can.
Okay, sure.
By God, I'm gonna take one of them down with me. Yeah, I'm getting that damn Tempest. Nah, I didn't even get the thing off. Yep, that's GG.
Cool. Okay, so probably the main thing is keep making SCVs, like constantly be making SCVs. You did pretty good with that in the early game, but once you start to get multiple bases going, it's hard to keep up if you don't have control groups. So that's going to be probably the first thing, is get comfortable binding all of your command centers to a control group, all of your barracks to a control group, your factory, your starport. They can all be on separate ones, or you can have them all on one, but you'd have to tab through. Every time you hit tab, when you have all of your buildings selected, it'll toggle between command centers, all of your barracks, all of your factories, all of your starports, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So it's up to you how you want to do it. I know a lot of people do either. Me personally, I have all of my command centers on 4. So what that would mean is, like, first thing in the game, I make an SCV and then I bind the command center to 4. So if next time I want to make an SCV, I don't have to click on it. I just hit 4S and it'll make the SCV. You might have, you know, methods of building units right now, but I can assure you, like, this control group method is so much easier, especially when you're across the map too. Like, no one has time to attack and then go back to their base and click on 17 different buildings and then go back to the army. It's a lot easier if you're watching your army and you're hitting 5A, 4S, 6, you know, for tanks or whatever, or medevacs and stuff like that. It's a lot easier just to hit the button. Another thing too, this is kind of nitpicky of me, but like I wouldn't recommend getting an E base so early. We can talk about optimal builds later, but usually
it's not needed.
What's that?
It's not needed, very simply, because it's for mech stuff. Is the word, right?
The army, or sorry, the building for mech stuff is typically the armory. But
oh my God.
Yeah, it's good that you're getting +1. At least you're using it, which is good. But yeah, there's builds where we can get it a bit later, and that first 100 gas we can put into like stim or a quicker factory, that kind of thing.
I totally would have gone into stim, but my dumbass thought I got that like midway through the game, and it was okay, but would have helped a lot.
That's all good. Another thing too, as soon as your barracks is done, make an orbital command on all of your command centers. There shouldn't be a need for a planetary so early in the game. So I think your first 3 bases, let's say your first 2 bases would be okay to make orbital commands. And if you don't feel safe at your 3rd, you can make that a planetary if you want. It's just so beneficial. I know there was a moment in the early game where we had not enough minerals, right? And the reason for that is we had full energy on our orbital command. So if we were to use that energy, we can call down mules, right? And get a lot of money.
Yeah.
Another thing too.
Yeah,
mules are really good. Another thing too, I see that we queued up a bunch of different supply depots. So we have 300 minerals in supply depots that aren't even built yet. So when you queue them up with one single guy, it basically says, okay, I don't want 300 minerals right away. Like, so 300 minerals are already tied up, right? And then this guy that's making the second barracks is also going to put down another barracks after that. So that's another 150. So we almost have 500 minerals in nothing right now. It's just kind of like
better to just do it one at a time instead of queuing them, right?
Yeah, so you can get separate SCVs to build all those. If you really want them right away, then use separate SCVs. Otherwise, like, there's just a waste of time right now, you know, like, you're basically spending the same amount of money, but you're delaying the benefit for as long as it takes for one SUV to build.
I 100% get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the thing we could work on. I think in general, at this point in the game, you have a good amount of what you want. I would say get the orbital and the main, but you have the right building count kind of thing. You have 3 barracks coming, you got a factory, you have 2 gases, so that kind of means you want to get into like starport and more tech heavy units. So
honestly, I didn't notice that I didn't really need it for the movie. I was just so used to like needing to get them for like you never know in the future kind of deal. If that makes sense.
The gases,
like you don't know.
Or the starport.
I don't normally use it really anything from the starport except for the medevacs for healing.
Gotcha.
In the campaign, I'm used to having like the literal medic units, which don't exist anymore in multiplayer.
Yeah.
Which came from the barracks. So, are you saying I should maybe focus less on the refineries as well?
Yeah. I'll show you a build. Yeah, maybe today, maybe another day after we get more of the fundamentals going. But you basically just need 1 gas, and that's going to give you enough for your factory. It'll give you enough for any add-ons, stim. Once you start going in at 2, you end up heavier into gas and less on the mineral side of things. And the issue with that early is that everything you need to get developed in the early game requires minerals. You need minerals for another command center, you need supply depots, you need barracks, you need a factory, and there's a lot of things that cost minerals, basically everything, right?
I noticed that when they kept yelling at me, "You need more minerals," and I was like, "I know, okay."
Exactly. And it's a really subtle thing. It's something you'll notice after a lot of games, is if you put too much focus into gas, your economy gets thrown off, like the ratio gets thrown off. The game is set up so that there's a certain amount of mineral requirement and then a certain amount of gas requirement. Let's say, look at the factory, it's 150 minerals and 100 gas. So just based on the factory alone, you're going to need more minerals than gas. So everything has that ratio to it, so you don't want to go too far off of a little bit more minerals than your gas income, right?
Gotcha.
Another thing too, I think your natural command center is misplaced a little bit. Do you have enable build grid on?
My natural is misplaced?
I think so, yeah.
That means the one I started off with, or the second?
The natural is your second one.
How did I do it? I pretty much just selected it from the thing, and then there's a little grid.
Yeah.
That showed red and spots and green in the others, and I kind of just placed it in there.
Okay.
I totally could have made it slightly higher than I meant it to.
I think that might have been what happens, but as long as you have the grid open and that you can see the red and the green, that's all that matters.
Yeah. There goes little widow mine. Go you.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's look at your economy right at this very second. 240 minerals, 713 gas.
Oh, yes. I can see that I have a lot of gas that I'm not using.
Yeah. So
you're totally right about
at this point, like, let's say over the last 2.5 minutes, those 3 SCVs on that extra refinery could be getting minerals, right? And so that would give us, let's say, like, I don't know, 400. Well, I guess it'd be half, so 350 gas, and you'd have a bit more minerals, and that is a better ratio for the things that you want to build in the early game.
Yeah.
It's not the worst thing in the world, because eventually you're going to start banking up a lot of minerals too, so you're going to get that ratio eventually anyways. But yeah, it's just a good habit to stay on 1 gas until you get to a certain point in the game. Let's say focus on getting 16 out of 16 at each of your bases, so each mineral patch has 2 workers on it.
Gotcha.
and then you can start filling out the rest of your gases. But until you get 16 out of 16 on both of your bases, you should be fine just to have the one gas, unless you're going into some like double starport banshees or like a lot of like tech heavy units. Let's say you're going mech or something, you're going to need a lot of gas for that. But for what you like to build here, yeah, you'll be fine with just one gas.
Add-on complete.
Okay.
So at this point in the game, like you're spending your money, you have 50 minerals right now. This is perfect. Like even if they're all queued up in missile turrets, again, we got the one SCV making multiple things here again, but still, I'd rather see that than it be banked up in your bank, not doing anything, you know?
Like how the Protoss has like almost 2,500.
Yeah, right. So when he finally went to attack, you actually crushed that. Like you did such a good job with that defense too.
Well, the towers did certainly help in the defense. I didn't think they would be that helpful, but they were just, you know, in case they went for like an oracle rush or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
Which is real annoying.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so this is good so far. There's a solid foundation here. You know when about to take the natural too. It was good timing. You don't want to just rush that sometimes, right? Because that'll leave you exposed.
For sure.
So there's a good balance of safety with economic greed kind of thing. And as we go further into the game, let's just, yeah, you see the mine get, this is another thing too, is like paying attention to what the enemy army is doing. Because if you're Marines, let's go back a little bit. If they were caught on this side of the map over here while you got attacked, this fight would have gone completely differently, right?
Oh, so, it would have been a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, so it's good to know when they're coming. That's a portion of the game is scouting, right? Whether it's scanning their army or if it's sending Marines across the map, like a single Marine, you can kind of get free vision that way at the expense of only 50 minerals. It's really worth it. I would say get in the habit of sending random Marines on certain parts of the map because that's going to give you a lot of intel.
For sure.
Okay, so yeah, this defense goes really well here. Oh, another thing we can talk about too is the move command. So I can't remember. Maybe I can see what you did here. Did you just kind of select your guys and then right click on stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. This looks like it's okay. Yeah, I would get in the habit of, remember those control groups I was talking about?
Yeah.
So we got our command centers on 4, let's say. And the reason why we put it on 4 is so that we can keep 1, 2, and 3 open for our army. So you'd have your main army on 1. You'd have some kind of like separate thing on 2. Let's say
Medivacs or something.
What, sorry?
Like Medivacs or something on 2.
Yeah, so that's good for drops. If you want to have your drops on 2, that's a good thing. Otherwise, you can have your Medivacs with your Marines in group 1.
Sure.
You can have Marauders in there with that. You can even have tanks. Honestly, like it's not so bad if you have your entire army on 1 for this stage in the game. The most important thing at this point is spend your money, group your stuff up, and then push to the other side of the map. As long as you're spending your money properly, you can take every single fight, no matter what. Especially because you have a good understanding of getting your natural up, getting a strong economy. As long as you can spend that money that you have coming in, there's no way that bot will be able to keep up.
Gotcha. I think right now is when I was focused on building more things and I just stopped producing because I forgot about it.
Yeah, so that's definitely something that happened this game, especially when you went on the offensive to the other side of the map. That whole time our production just slipped, and that's just because of those control groups, right? As long as we're able to make stuff while we're attacking, you'll find a lot of success.
Upgrade complete.
And it's good too, like your factory right now has 3 siege tanks queued up in there, totally fine. Normally, like it's kind of the same idea as that SCV that was building those supply depots earlier. It's kind of just
one at a time is better. because then you have more to play with.
Yes,
So,
right? But at the same time, again, I'd rather see you spend it than it not be working at all, you know?
for sure,
So that's good. Totally fine to be queuing up. That's perfect. Your starport is, you know what sucks about the starport is it's kind of off to the side too. So when it's finished, it's hard to be able to like see it. If you're looking at your barracks and your factory, it's kind of in the bottom left. So
yeah.
when it's done, you want to be able to make stuff right away. It wasn't too long. You started making medevacs out of there. Another good thing too, if you have the gas for it, is make a reactor on your starport, and you can make double medevacs at the same time.
I was thinking that, but I also wanted to do Banshees. Was what I was thinking at the time, but I was conflicted because I'm like, is it too late game for them? Because I was going to send them around and harass them.
Well, let's take a look. If we were to have them right now, there's a couple cannons at the natural of his, but not at the mineral line. So you could probably find an angle. So there is a well, I guess he's got a bunch of observers all over the place. So there's ways for him to get detection on those Banshees, but they still can find some use.
Can you see the observer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This is my view with the scanner thing from before, not current. Let's go this view. Okay. Yes. Sorry, I was looking at my view only. I am not seeing any of those invisible guys, whatever they're called.
The observers or the DTs?
Sorry.
Yeah, there's one over his main army, and there's one over in the top left of the map.
Why on earth is it all the way up there? Because I might come around with Banshees. Okay.
Yeah, he's been taking this weird route. Every time he goes to scout your base, he doesn't really send it right across the map. He kind of goes around the sides like this.
And he always groups his army here.
Yeah.
Which I guess is just the AI being an AI. But
yeah, it's also good. They probably programmed it like that because holding ramps like that is a really good way of taking a good fight. A, you have the high ground. B, it's a choke that you would have to go through to get up there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a good spot. Honestly, I want to talk about that too. Your army positioning here is perfect. Like, this is great. So, yeah, such a good defensive position here. I would say maybe take one tank and put it over closer to your third. But you're covering your third with Marines, and you're covering your natural with Marines and tanks. So that's pretty good.
I think I had some tanks queued up. I just didn't think of moving the ones I currently had placed while waiting for those new ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're totally right. Should have had those.
Yeah, but still, it's a great position. This is totally fine. Like, you're gonna win this fight handily. There's a little bit of a move command there, which can kind of bite you in the butt sometimes. I'll show you that.
You just moved back.
Like, the top part is going pretty well. Your Marines are doing fine, right? There's a couple that are grouped up behind that aren't able to shoot, but as soon as those zealots come in, then they're going to be fully effective and they're going to start shooting. And then on the bottom half, these Marines, they kind of just move command. You can see the blue. They're moving towards the army, and they're getting hit this whole time without fighting. Again, you're a
misclick on my end. Like, I meant to click the the stalker.
Oh, okay.
But I just was a headshot.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so this is one of those things where, like, eventually you'll get in the habit of just attack moving, and then you don't have to worry about clicking on anything specifically. Like, the Marines will just do that for you. This will really help against Zergs too, because if you were to move command into Banelings, it's going to be a really bad time. So
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, attack moving really helps for that.
And for that little part where the bunker came in, I probably should have only selected a few of them instead of the entire group.
For which one, sorry?
So you know when the bunker finishes, I select the entire top group and put group instead of just like selecting at most the bottom portion.
Oh,
you know
I see. Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. It's all about getting the most value out of your units. So yeah, if it were optimal, you'd grab 6. We can't always be perfect, right? But that is a good observation. Yeah, that would be best. Okay, once we start getting to this point of the game, we have 3 bases up, and we still have the same amount of buildings. So earlier, when we
I
were
should have built more. Like,
yeah,
barrack
build more
buildings.
production buildings for sure, because earlier it's okay when we just start to get the natural going, but now we have 16 out of 16 on that guy. Also, good job pulling out of your main too. It's good that I didn't see 18 out of 8, you know, where there's like a bunch of SCVs just doing nothing there. So that's good. But once we get to this strong economy portion of the game, probably drop down a bunch of barracks, maybe a couple factories, a couple starports. Get working on your... What's that?
I had like 3,000 minerals just doing nothing.
Yeah,
so,
right.
You're right. I should have just spammed the shit out of something. Anything would have been better than nothing.
Right. It's good that you know that too. Yeah,
I
so
kind of just sorry.
that looks like it's priority number 1, I would say, at this point. Get your production going, spend your money. That's the biggest thing. Spend your money, and then whatever you make, bind it to 1, and then 1 click to the back of his base. Don't even look at the fight. Just keep making more stuff. Yeah. Especially Marines, because they're kind of going to do everything on their own anyways. You don't have to micro them too much.
That's why I like Marines quite a bit, is that they're, in my opinion, one of the best all-rounders, because they can attack air and ground and swarm. Like, it's not a bad mechanic. You know, a lot of little things to hit. And I've noticed Protoss is sometimes, like with those Void Rays, I don't know why they were going with Void Rays when they could see I was all Marines.
Yeah.
Because those are very single target focused.
Right. Yeah, okay, so it seems like you have a decent amount of game knowledge here. You know, like certain unit counters and stuff like that. And you're right, Marines are very much a good all well-rounded unit. Another thing too with this DT, this guy started chipping away at this army. At this point, we basically won the game. We can run in and kill pretty much all of his infrastructure. It's just the DT was just chipping away at us the whole time, right?
I didn't even notice. Like, honestly, I didn't even see it.
It's tough. It's tough. You got to kind of see, A, the shimmer, but B, your Marines are also taking damage there.
Yeah, I think I briefly noticed at one point that my Marines were dying, but I thought it was something on, like, the ledge of the main base.
Oh, okay.
That I just didn't see.
Gotcha.
So I dismissed it as, like, if I moved further away later on, or like it was maybe the stalker just did a lot of damage.
I see.
And I saw the shimmer later on when he pointed it out. Just it was a bit too late.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I kept accidentally picking up the.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I struggled to put them back down.
Yeah, that'll happen. That'll happen.
Yeah, the Void Ray, I was just like, what on earth are you thinking?
Right. This whole time while we're fighting, it's been like 2 minutes and there hasn't been anything made, which I think is the nail in the coffin for you.
Oh yeah, I've almost doubled their resource.
Yeah,
their
we got
minerals.
so much money right now. So a good idea is to drop your production before you go attack. Like drop a bunch of barracks down, start attacking, so that while it's building you're doing something else, and when you're done your attack you can go back and start producing. Something like that, or drop a 4th command center while you go attack. You just want to make use of that time while you're dealing with the fight to have things be built, and then by the time you're done with the fight you can go back to them being done. Yeah, so this would go completely differently if we had the orbital command bound to 4, because it'd just be as simple as 4C click and all of a sudden those DTs are dead.
They're just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have like no health. So
yeah,
2 seconds, they're gone. And I'm like, why are my units disappearing? They don't have any, like,
what's this trail of Marine bodies here? Yeah.
Oh, these poor Marines.
Oh yeah, that was unfortunate too.
Yeah, I tried to, like, I selected all of them, but it grouped the Marines with the medevac, so I couldn't select the boost thing.
Oh yeah, I see.
And so I was just like, no, why won't you let me leave? So that was unfortunate.
Okay, so let's play one more game because from here on out, it's just kind of surviving.
Yeah,
But
which is it was GG at this point.
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Along the inevitable.
Right. You had done really good damage, but not having that constant production means once he stabilizes, well, it's kind of an even fight again. And he's also double expanding behind that, which was
I see that.
a rough thing too. Because when we lose our army and he's taken an economic risk that we don't punish, then it kind of sets him up for a good portion of the game, right?
Yeah. Here comes the army.
Oh, I left the replay.
Oh, I'll leave it, sir. It's okay. Although the Void Rays were smart, it brought 2 to take out that bunker, the upgraded bunker. So, took out about 8 troops, I think that was. No, 5, 6. I don't know, it was 4 plus, 6. Let's see. How do I exit replay? I got a call in the middle of us talking, so I'm just going to check my voicemail super quick.
Sure.
Apologies.
We'll give you some tips this time as they happen. And I think you should be able to beat him pretty handily this time.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
How do you make the hotkeys again? It's control the number you want.
Yeah, you select the thing that you want to group, and you hit control the number. And then anytime you want to reference that group, you just hit the number.
Okay.
Okay,
And I want my base armies to be 1, 2, and 3, and the rest like base 4-ish.
Yeah. I think the standard way, if you're into that, is 4 for command centers, 5 for barracks, 6 for factory, 7 for starport, and then 1, 2, 3 for different army compositions.
Gotcha.
For simplicity's sake, you can just do your command center on 4, your barracks on 5, and your main army on 1.
You make your army on again.
You select your main army, and then you hit control 1.
Oh, I just group it. Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
For a second, I thought it was only the F2 button, but I'm changing the hotkey for it.
Good. Yeah, I would avoid using the F2 button because sometimes people get too in the habit of using that, and then it kind of screws them over later.
Oh, that supply depot isn't going to come out in time.
Yeah,
Whoops.
that's okay. That's all good. If you want to time that out perfectly, the first SCV that you make, rally that to your ramp, and it'll time out perfectly every time.
Perfect. This goes here.
Good. And we should be good to take only 1 gas this game.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, how about the one that's building your barracks here, the SCV that's building your barracks, when it's done, do you want to send it to go to the natural and we'll make a natural CC right away?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sure. I was unsure if that would be too fast or not.
It is, it's quick, but it's not dangerous quick, It's not a first CC, like a CC first. It's, you get the barracks so you have some form of defense. If you want to get your orbital right now, that's a good time to do it.
Oh, maybe not. B.
There we go. Okay. Now get your natural CC. Make sure it's placed properly.
This is where it's supposed to, it's showing me to cut it. So.
Yeah, that looks about good. You can get a reactor and you can get a supply depot around now too. And you can keep making SCVs here. There we go. You can drop a mule down right now too if you want. Oh, scan. Good scan.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's good. That's perfect. So what do we see? We see 2 gates and we see warp gate coming, right? So from that, you can kind of tell he's probably not expanded. He's got an early focus on gateway units.
How could you tell he was going gateway? Because you can't see what the cybernetic core is going for. I guess you can assume it's gated.
Yeah, more often than not. You kind of just, you can't tell, but you go with what's most practical at that point in the game. He doesn't have, from what we saw, he doesn't have a starport. It's possible technically that he went like +1 air weapons, but it's unlikely, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so
It's
we're
too
starting to
early
get
game for air.
a lot of minerals here. Let's drop down 3 barracks, 3 extra barracks
Okay.
with 3 SCVs, not with 1, right?
Yeah. So I'll do this with each that I have 3.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, B is the short key, and 3. I placed those a little weirdly. I should have done those.
That's fine. It's best if they're in a vertical row, but that's okay too. That's all good. We'll work on that as it happens. Let's start making some Marines just in case he sends some army across, because we know he's making lots of army. We can get a bunker, and we can group both of our command centers in the same control group on 4.
First, bunker. Let's put you. My army, is it big enough that I should be grouping it? I see you, little probe shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think at any point, as soon as you get any kind of army, you should have it on a control group.
Let's make it 1.
There you go. Perfect. Okay, let's group both of our command centers on 4. Right now we just have the main one. So to do that, you can select both of them and then group it that way, or you can select the natural and hit Shift 4 and it'll add it to that group. Okay, all of our barracks are done. Let's get our SCVs back on the mineral line, and maybe let's take a factory and a second gas.
Zero here.
Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, let's
Should I be building my reactors on the new ones?
yeah,
Assuming?
so let's get 2 tech labs and a reactor.
2 turrets.
Yeah,
Cool.
very good. Okay, now group all of those barracks to 5.
Okay. Oh, 5.
Very good. Now hit 5 and then right click somewhere to rally them, to set the rally point.
Yeah. I don't need to select all of them. I have the keeper. Damn it.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, now let's
Yeah.
get stim pack and combat shields and start producing as many units out of those barracks as we can.
Okay. So 5. Let's. Okay. Hey.
There you go. Super easy that way, hey?
And I need more supply depots. I always forget the damn supply.
Yeah, that's okay. So to do that, let's build like 2. So select any amount of SCVs and just build 2. And then it'll take 2 to go do that. There we go. Perfect. And another thing too, the ones that are building the supply depots right now, select those 2 SCVs and hit Shift and right click on the minerals.
Shift. Oh, so they'll do it after. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So they're always going to go back to mining. Get in that habit. That's a really good one. It looks like we have a lot of army here. This is looking pretty good. If he were to attack right now, I think we'd destroy it pretty good. Let's keep making SCVs though. That's really important. Let's start a factory and our 3rd command center.
First, you 2 over here. Factory.
And let's get two more, maybe 2 or 3 more supply depots as well.
Research complete.
How many factories did you say? Just 1?
Just 1 factory for now.
Okay, you don't need to do a perk quite yet.
Additional supplies and most. Is research.
There are 2 Marines.
Yeah, very good. Okay, select all of your Marines, like hit 1, and attack move to the back of his main. There you go.
Okay, attack move is A, then
A and then left click.
I think I did.
Perfect. Okay, now let's go back and focus on our base. Let's do the macro. Okay, let's build a starport, 3rd command center, more depots, more SCVs, more Marines.
Okay. Oh shoot! I stopped producing greens. Right. So for a there we go.
Okay.
You can come down here. Supply depots. Oh, 1 second. Things are attacking. Should I be looking at all?
Nope,
Or?
don't even look at the fight. Just look at your macro. And let's focus on the 3rd CC, some more supply depots, starport, more SCVs, more Marines.
Marines being built. You to.
We could use some help here.
Why can't I build these things? Out. There we go. My audio just died. Why can't I hear anything? Sorry, give me a sec. My audio.
Oh,
is-
hit Control S. Maybe it's that.
It's entirely possible I clicked that. Sound. Yeah, I muted myself.
That's
Okay.
all good. I do that lots too.
Yeah. I meant to press Shift S. Yeah.
Okay, so you did lots of damage on the other side of the map. There was an issue there where we right-clicked the back of his base instead of attack moving. So with our next group of Marines, let's rebind them to 1, like all of those guys, and then do the same thing. Send them right across the map. 1A left click.
I'm just gonna set these to make. Okay. A. Oop. Here we go.
Good. Okay, more SCVs, a starport, and a 3rd CC.
Yes. Okay. You. See. Okay.
There is an SCV by your factory. If you want, you can build a starport right below it. Very good. And with your factory, let's make a reactor so that when the starport is done, you can just swap the add-ons. Like you can
Oh, I
lift
forgot
your
you could do
factory.
that.
Yeah, it's a really handy technique. Okay, let's get some upgrades too. Let's get 2 engineering bays.
There are 2 engineering bays.
Yeah.
Let's see, where's 3, 5. Engineering bay here.
Your Marines are doing massive damage on the other side too.
My God,
All while
what
we're
are they
doing
doing
this,
with the clothes?
it's great. Okay, let's keep making more Marines. 5 and hold down A, 4 and hold down S.
Sorry, one more time. I was drowned out by the sound of gunfire.
No problem. 5 and hold down A, and 4 and hold down S.
Oh, because I can make the things in. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, let's get another engineering bay.
Another.
Yeah, we want 2 at the same time so that we can get +1 on both weapons and armor at the same time.
This better be good. SCV ready.
Actually, you can make
Use some help here.
one of these. I'm fine with those Marines dying, but
Boy,
Yeah, that's perfect.
SCV ready.
one for these guys. Y'all are gonna want to go here. You go here,
SCV ready.
and
This better be good.
Control 4. Okay, then 4. Did I select something wrong? Didn't I? No, I didn't. Okay. Rhythm's not in control, whatever you call it.
Command
In orbital command? It is now. So hit 4 and hit E and just hit, I guess you have to hit E multiple times. Yeah, there you go. Just drop a bunch of mules. Perfect. Okay.
Look at that. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to have so much money coming in. So let's get a lot of supply depots and let's make a lot of Marines.
Let's do it this way. Okay. We shift S.
Good. Very good.
Yeah, I think that was all of those that I selected.
That's a negatory. It's blocked.
What's wrong here?
I think that guy just tried to build a supply depot where another one was, and then he got kind of glitched around
Yeah.
there.
Ah, I see.
Upgrade complete.
There. Never mind. They can do it. Okay.
Yeah, this is good. Okay, let's get +1 armor with one of our eBays, and let's get a armory. Okay, let's send an attack wave in too. Let's hit 1 click.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make these guys all group together.
Okay, perfect.
One. Oh, they have their stim now. Okay. You. Okay, while they're heading over, you guys can come here.
Unit field depleted. Base is under
Oh,
attack.
hello.
We could use some help here.
Oh, there's a move command there. We kind of
Oh, there is.
walked into his army. That's fine. That's all good. You're probably going to win the game with that next push. So let's just tidy up our base. Do a couple things. Let's try switching that factory and that starport.
Go, go.
Oh, there goes the buzzer. Ah, there it is. Sorry, switching them up. Yeah, you're right. So L, and you heal, and you
Vespine Geyser exhausted.
here.
Very good. Okay. In the bottom left, there's idle worker. If you hit control and click on that, it'll select all of your idle workers, and then right click on the minerals at your third.
Control idle workers,
Yeah.
and then where do I want them?
Right click on the minerals at your third.
Okay.
There you go. That's perfect. Now that your armory is done, let's go +2 on each of your engineering bays. So select them both and then hit EA.
EA support.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. I made the joke.
Okay. Yeah, this is looking way better, man. It might feel a little weird, but I mean, you're crushing it. You're spending your money, you're making army, and you're sending it into attack, and you basically won the game.
This is a pretty basic strategy too. I can just tell it's only Marines.
Yeah.
Those round.
Very nice. Good game, man.
Ah, my second win. Look at that.
Perfect.
All right.
Congrats.